Hello everybody, I hope you're doing good today. This video will contain copyrighted fuckery being used underneath the Fair Use Act for educational purposes. Man, you know, this mockumentary that's coming out, it's called Behind the Curve, is exactly that. And you're going to find out why here in a little bit, because a new review came out. And it shed some light on the opening of the show, Patricia and Mark, and all this other nonsense. And it just shows you it's all an act. These people have been acting for years now. When you watch Flat Earth and Hot Potatoes, it's all a scripted show. It's an act. These two are actors. All right? So, when I did that video called It's All About the Money, Flat Earth, It's All About the Money, I said the reality show has been in the works for a long time. When I say reality show, I mean documentary reality show, because they want to turn that documentary into a reality show. That's the ultimate goal, okay? Now, I clearly said that it's been in the planning a long time. Let's listen here. We all know that the reality TV show has been in the works for a long time. Since these two hooked up, it's been in the works. Okay? So then Patricia, they all got to do damage control, came out and said this. Have a listen.
And I've heard talk, though, that this is a reality show and it's been in the works for quite some time. It's not a reality show. It's a documentary. And
the documentary.
It is just something that will go, it's gone to a documentary film festival, a big one, but that's where it is. And from there, somebody might take interest in it and decide to do something with it.
Like a reality show. So there you go. She's trying to say I was lying about that, okay? So let's go back to 2015. I think here's the show, Flat Earth Clues interview, fakeologist, radio via phone, Mark Sargent. Here you go, March 2015. Let's listen to Mark Sargent here.
Are you teaming up at all with some of the other leading people that are discussing all this? Or you don't need collaboration?
They're trying to team up with me, apparently.
Yeah, I'm sure. Maybe you don't.
What a bunch of crap. He was a nobody at this time.
Need that.
Well, that's fine. If they want, they're trying to put together a documentary. Get some.
I think you just did.
Well, yeah, I know, but I mean a full blown. It's sort of I don't want to give it away, but they're going to try to do a subtle thing where you're talking to more than just me. Other people, that have been kind of toying with this, and how it's kind of getting out there, and how the technology has gotten to a point where there's flaws that are showing up. There's things that you can't hide. The most obvious being the flights. The fact that the
So there you go. This documentary with other people, subtle hit piece, has been in the works for over 2.5 years. Closer to, over 3 years. Excuse me. My math is off. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. This is a show. It's an act. It's been an act from the get-go. From the time Mark Sargent showed up on YouTube, it's been an act. All right? Now let's move on here. You all remember Carolyn Clark. She is one of the producers. And she did a documentary. Here she goes, Behind the Curve, 2018. She did a documentary called Patrolling Sandy Hook, and it's basically shaming people for who don't believe mainstream media and the shooting. Okay. So let's move on now to the executive producer, and I've heard this name somewhere, and I want to thank Miss Allie for her information on this. You've been a great help to me. So I really appreciate you guys' all comments down below. Here she is. She's the executive producer. For those who don't know, that's the person at the top. She controls the producer and the whole production of this shit show. So let's take a look at her credits here. Oh, climate change documentary. Huh. Well, let's look at here. A Bangladesh teenager takes her uncertain future into her own hands to change the fate of her family, her country, and the planet. Let's scroll down here. Oh, look at this. Holocaust, New York Tolerance Center. This was right after 9/11. So there you go. November 2001. A personal look at the Holocaust on permanent display at the New York Tolerance Center. There you go. So these are the people behind this mockumentary. And you're going to see that it's exactly that, a mockumentary. A new new review came out. Let me read this here. Behind the Curve opens on Mark Sargent, whose dress code favors shorts, t-shirts, and a baseball cap, at home on Whidbey Island, staring at Seattle in the distance. If the world is a globe, why can't you see curvature, he asks. A movie-loving Monty Python fan, Mark believes we are living in something like a terrarium. So, Patricia, it wasn't Carly Sunshine who mentions terrarium. It's Mark Sargent. He's the dolt they were talking about in that interview. Okay? Or a film set. He feels like Jim Carrey in the terrarium. He feels like in the terrarium. Jim Carrey in the Truman Show, conned into thinking a fake reality is real. Above the clouds, there is a display system. This is what Mark believes, people. He also believes there's civilizations below us. It's a display system. Mark discusses these ideas with his mother, who questions them in a scene revealing the touching and affectionate relationship. So they're saying Mark is a mama's boy. All right. So let's scroll up here. I wanted to read one more right here. Now remember, y'all remember my video the other day about Patricia going into that room at NASA knowing it was cleared out, and she yells out, "Flat Earth!" Okay? In a key scene, two of the film's principal characters, Mark Sargent, Patricia Steer, a redhead who obviously knows how sexy she is. She isn't sexy, I'm sorry to say. She looks rather homely looking to me. Visit the NASA museum, gleefully shout, "Flat Earth!" Mark and Patricia once flirted their way towards a romantic connection. Now this is all an act, ladies and gentlemen. This is why they do this, because it distracts you from the goals. It turns this into a comedic, it turns it into satire. That's what it does. All this stuff they're doing turns this into satire. According to one commentator, Steer is a temptress, typical of narcissistic, psychopathic women. That's the only thing they got right about Miss Steer, who lure people into the movement. She lures people into the movement, and then they find out she's a piss drinker, and then they say, "Oh shit, I was stupid for believing flat Earth." Negative association, which has grown surprisingly widespread. The doc itemizes flat Earth, dating sites, an array of merchandise, and growing media attention. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's read down here. Despite his humoristic approach, Clark sees in his subjects the danger of encouraging ignorance in others and the threat they present to themselves. There you go. It's a hit piece. It's a mockumentary. They're creating satire. Let's listen to why I called it a mockumentary way back in It's All About the Money video. Listen. Oh, this documentary isn't even going to be a documentary. It's going to be a mockumentary. It's going to be a lot like that Convex Earth documentary. There you go. So, let's listen to Patricia Steer here, because remember, whenever I do something, they got to come out and do their damage control. I think they're going to have to have somebody specifically working for them, simply to go around to see all the videos that are going to come out now because of this documentary, and so they can later on do damage control on their next show. So let's listen here.
I did see, I think it might have been Bob from Glowbusters who mirrored the trailer. Somebody came in and said it's a mockumentary to belittle Flat Earth. And I thought, mockumentary?
No, they literally don't know the definition of a mockumentary.
Right, they don't. So that's showing their lack of knowledge.
So she's calling me and everybody else who's been calling this a mockumentary since stupid. Okay, so let's listen to the rest of this, because Miss Steer is gonna give us the definition of a mockumentary.
Mockumentary is an actual Hollywood production with actors that are deliberately going out of their way to parody said topic.
Well, Mark gives a good explanation too, and he's exactly right. And these two are actors, and they've already admitted they want to turn this reality show into like a comedy show. Satire is comedy. Patricia and Mark.
Example would be
Spinal Tap.
Best in Show.
Best in Show.
Best in Show is
movies.
Behind the Globe.
Like, in fact, the director of Best in Show made a whole series of. Yeah, A Mighty Wind, absolutely. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Hey, those are professional mockumentaries, and you can always, there's no doubt when you're watching them, you never have any, there's no blurring of the lines.
Right. Here's a definition. Noun, a motion picture or television program that takes the form of a serious documentary in order to satirize its subject.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what Behind the Curve is. These two are actors, and they're satirizing the subject, trying to turn it into something funny, bizarre, odd. And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. It's all right there in front of you. You don't even have to look hard to see it's all an act. And then you got people like Bob, Jaron, Karen, B, all them groupies in Patricia's chat room. They're there for one thing, hoping they can cash in on the fame and fortune that Mark are going to achieve. They're going to achieve it because this was set in motion over 3 years ago. Have a good day, everybody.